100 hours. That's how long it took for my glorious multi-level oil processing plant to finally collapse under its own weight. It was a spaghetti nightmare of crisscrossing pipes fighting for flow, with our power grid held together by little more than biofuel and a prayer. And just as I was about to tear it all down and admit defeat, update 1.2 dropped. Now, let's be clear. Coffee Stain Studios already delivered on its 1.0 promise back in September 2024, officially launching the game out of early access. This new update, 1.2, is the first major post-launch content patch. So, we did what any good Fixit employee would do. We clocked another 100 hours. We pushed the new systems to their limits to answer one question. Is the full release everything we hoped for? And does this new update justify starting all over again? The answer is a bit more complicated than you might think. For years, Satisfactory was the poster child for early access done right. A clear roadmap and a gameplay loop so addictive it's become a legend. The 1.0 launch in September 2024 finally gave us that narrative conclusion with Phase 5, an end goal to our industrial madness. But a full release is also a promise of polish. Update 1.2, which hit the stable branch on June 2, 2026, is the first real test of that promise. It isn't just a patch, it's a statement. It adds game-changing logistics, massive engine upgrades, and a ton of quality of life features the community has been begging for. But this update isn't just about more stuff, it fundamentally changes how you build. It forces you to rethink your old designs and the very logic of your factory. And that's where our 100-hour journey begins, not just to see what's new, but to see if the old magic is still there. At its heart, Satisfactory's gameplay is unchanged, and thank goodness for that. It's a masterclass in how to keep you hooked. You land on a gorgeous alien planet with a zapper and a dream, tasked to build a factory for the mysterious Megacore P. The cycle is simple: scout for resources, set up miners, automate production, and expand. What makes it so compelling is the first-person perspective. Unlike top-down builders where you're a god in the sky, here you are a pioneer on the ground. You physically walk through the industrial cathedrals you build, dwarfed by the very machinery you brought to life. Every unlock feels earned. That first clumsy portable miner eventually gives way to a fully automated mining rig. Your single slow conveyor belt evolves into a multi-lane highway of resources, a true conveyor belt heaven. The game's emphasis on verticality is another key pillar. You don't just build up for looks, you need to. Stacking machines across multiple floors is a core mechanic for efficiency. This smooth, rewarding progression is what keeps players hooked for hundreds if not thousands of hours. It's even better with friends. The co-op multiplayer lets you and a team build a shared factory, and with dedicated servers, you aren't strictly limited to the officially supported 4 players. Even after you finish the story, the sandbox just begs you to keep optimizing. So, if the core is so good, what does Update 1.2 bring to the table? A revolution in logistics, performance, and immersion. One of the biggest new features is the fluid truck station and tanker trucks. For years, transporting liquids has been a massive pain point. Running kilometers of pipes and wrestling with head lift physics was a tedious nightmare. Well, no more. Now, you can set up a truck station at a remote oil field, another at your refinery, and just assign a tanker to run the route. It's clean, it's scalable, and it makes decentralized factories way more practical. But the changes go deeper. Update 1.2 upgrades the game to Unreal Engine 5.6.1. This is a huge deal, especially for those of us with mega factories. The developers have rolled out major performance optimizations, making late-game factories much more stable. And with the engine upgrade, weather is back. After a long absence, rain has returned, and it's not just a visual effect. The new system adds a layer of atmospheric immersion that was sorely missing. Hearing the rain patter against the roof of your factory while you work adds a coziness that just makes the world feel more alive. With a major engine upgrade, the big question is always performance. The news is mostly good, but with a few caveats. The optimizations in Update 1.2 are noticeable, especially for memory usage in huge factories. However, the game can still bring a high-end PC to its knees when rendering a truly colossal factory. The new fluid and vehicle systems, while amazing, do add extra CPU load. During our tests, we found frame rates are generally stable but can dip when you're looking out over a late-game world filled with thousands of machines. So, how do you keep things running smoothly? First, turn off motion blur and depth of field. They are known performance killers. Setting your view distance to medium is another huge win. If you're on an older CPU, you might consider disabling some foliage rendering. For most modern systems, you can find a sweet spot with high textures and medium settings, and definitely use DLSS or FSR if your card supports it. For those running dedicated servers, be warned that save files can get huge, sometimes exceeding 2 to 4 gigabytes, so plan your storage accordingly. The factory genre has some real titans, so where does Satisfactory fit in? Its two biggest competitors are Factorio and Dyson Sphere Program. Factorio is the undisputed king of complex 2D top-down logistics. It's a brilliant puzzle of belts and inserters, focused on pure optimization and defending against biters. Dyson Sphere Program is all about breathtaking scale, taking the factory concept and expanding it across an entire star cluster. Satisfactory carves out its own niche with its first-person perspective and focus on exploration. It's the only one of the three where you get a true, hands-on feel for the scale of your creations. Where Factorio is about the elegance of a schematic, and Dyson Sphere Program is about the vastness of space, Satisfactory is about the immersive experience of building your own industrial world from the ground up. It's perfect for players who want that creative 3D experience and value exploration as much as automation. If this deep dive is helping you decide whether to jump back into the world or fix it, think about subscribing for more reviews where we put in the hours so you don't have to. Now, let's talk about whether it's worth your money in 2026. In an era of rising game prices, Satisfactory really stands out. Its standard price on Steam is around $29.99, though this can vary by region. It also frequently goes on sale during major events with significant discounts of 30% or more. For that price, you get an insane amount of content. A single playthrough to the end of Phase 5 can easily take 80 to 150 hours, and that's before you even get lost in the sandbox endgame. Players like me have logged hundreds, if not thousands, of hours. The value has only gotten better since the 1.0 release. This is a complete game that is now getting major, free content updates like 1.t. The addition of fluid trucks, new game modes, and performance work shows a real commitment to the game's future. When you break it down, the cost per hour for Satisfactory is one of the best deals in PC gaming, making it an easy recommendation for any fan of simulation or building games. After 100 more hours and a deep dive into every new feature, the verdict is clear. Satisfactory is absolutely worth buying and playing in 2026. The 1.2 update refines the whole experience, making now the perfect time to start a new factory from scratch. So, who should buy it? If you're a fan of automation, long-term progression, and creative building who wants to see your creations in immersive 3D, this is your game. If you enjoy exploration and want the story goal to work towards, Phase 5 delivers. And if you're looking for a fantastic co-op experience, this is one of the best out there. Who should maybe skip it? If you're looking for fast-paced combat or short gaming sessions, the deliberate pace will likely feel too slow. If you strongly prefer the top-down view of games like Factorio, the first-person perspective might feel limiting. And if you have a very low-end PC, you may struggle with late-game performance without making big sacrifices in your settings. The bottom line is this: Satisfactory has successfully grown from a promising early access title into a polished, feature-rich, and endlessly engaging masterpiece. It's a game about problem solving on a colossal scale, a monument to your own creativity, and a world that is, in a word, deeply satisfying.